everyone. So I'm just gonna start with a little story, make this all a story. Once upon a time, there was a shy, introverted child who didn't really talk to anyone, avoided unnecessary social interactions. And the child was me. So I fell victim to fears, I guess, of being victimized or criticized for things that I might say or suggest, or like what questions I might ask in class. This kind of lasted throughout elementary school, and I was like very much known as a very quiet child. But time passed, and I wasn't really reminded of like these quieter days until I came to high school. And then high school was great because freshman year, in my English class, I had this lovely bully who decided to like make fun of everything that I tried to say. I remember like class presentations were a little bit awkward because I always felt like I was being criticized for what I was saying. And I let that get to me for a little bit. But I guess just went through high school, did the whole thing. And by doing the whole thing, I mean just like trying out for different clubs. I've like picked up running, and that became a like core component of high school. And I eventually got into Stanford, and like things seemed really great. And so I didn't have to think about my voice as much or about like reaching out or things like that. And then it wasn't until I came here that I like had heard someone compliment me on like the way that I talk or just the way my voice sounds for the first time. And that was really encouraging because no one had ever like thought of it as a positive. And so yeah, then from there I just began to reach out more. I might have taken that advice a little bit, or the positive reinforcement a little bit too far, because I did try out for one of the a cappella groups at the beginning of the year. But it was more, I wanted to say it was like a fun thing to do. Not that I had like hope that I was a good singer, So that didn't work out, but I found other things, and I'm pretty happy with where I am now. But it hasn't always been this easy. I have a little list of things that I wanted to touch on. Prior to coming to Stanford, I had there were some goals that I had always wanted to try out. Like I remember thinking, it'd be really cool if you could learn a second language. And like there were some people who, because my mom is part Asian, like Japanese specifically. And so we had friends that would like go to school on the weekends to pick up this language. Usually Japanese, sometimes they went like for Spanish or other things. And I remember thinking that it would be really cool if I could do that too. And my mom had asked like, hey, do you want to just go to school, like you'll have this every weekend? And I thought, like I want to, but then I kind of held myself back. Similarly, I thought like the stage would be really cool, so like this would be a great thing, like if you can just own it and do whatever you want to make the stage yours and become this like big figure. And I never really like touched into that. I guess fears again like hold you back. And so yeah, I've never really reached out into theatrical things since then. Even now I haven't. But my talk here is just to inspire you to do reach out, because good things can happen when you try things and you take some risks. For example, I hadn't played steel drums before, but I came to Stanford and like tried this calypso thing, and that worked out really wonderfully. And last night we had our performance, and I was tasked with doing this jazz solo, which was something that I was not really comfortable with at all. Playing an instrument in a group is very fine, and like you can just kind of play along with what everyone else is doing. But when you're put on the spot and you have to do everything on your own, that can be a lot of pressure. So I remember being very scared about that and having to put myself out there. But it happened, the show finished, and there was lots of applause, and it ended well. Similarly, I thought about giving a talk before and didn't really know like what I had special about me. And so yeah, I decided I'll finally sign up. It's the spring one, it's the last chance, and I'll give it a shot. And so I signed up. This is happening, and I hope that if nothing else, I can just inspire you guys to take risks, try some new things, like see where clubs or different interests of yours take you. Another risk of mine that I took actually was in getting here on time. I was coming back from dinner. I said yes to going out to dinner, and that was, yeah. But I made it. Like, take that and so yeah, all I would hope for you guys is that like when you look back on your lives, like when we inevitably approach the end, and we have to look back on what we've done, I hope that you can look back on things that you've done and say, oh yeah, I tried that, and not have any regrets for things that you didn't do. And so you can look back on something scary like this and be glad that you did it as I am today. you.